Testing, 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 testing.
All right, everybody. Call me once. Do pledge allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everybody would just give us a moment of silence in remembrance of Keith Schimmerhorn, who was recently passed. He was a custodial worker for the school for about 18 years. Okay, thank you. So you'll have to bear with me, Rhonda unexpectedly wasn't able to make tonight's meeting, so I'll do my best to get us through this thing in one piece. Now a motion to approve the January 18th minutes.
So moved.
December 21st.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
12/21.
All right, that one too?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. All right. The approval of the CSE and CTSE recommendations. Motion on that, or any questions on it? First, I guess.
Make a motion to approve.
Yeah. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on, we're public comment. It doesn't look like they have any in the audience for public comment, so
I'm sure if the public was here, they would say, welcome back to Maryland.
yes, thank you, Greg. I did not miss that. So, welcome back, and good to have you back with us, man.
Thank you for standing in.
So, moving on to discussion items. The Facilities Committee, we had a good meeting last round, and would actually, Drayden, care to touch on that? Just
Sure. I don't know what pieces Meg might talk about, but our Facilities Committee, we reviewed the capital improvements using the federal funding via email. They sent around what the proposed scope was. If you remember, we were talking about the generator, electrical upgrades, the library flooring and furniture were on the docket, plus the front windows replacement for efficiency. Meg budgeted that with ARP funds of around $1 million for the generator purchase and installation, and another $250,000 in the high school front window replacements, which, if I remember, goes back to like 2018 with the original assessment. These are things that were already on the docket way back in 2018 to be done. So long story short, I don't know if you're going into this, Meg, in the details, or you want me to, or?
You can go ahead.
So what has been estimated out by cost is $483,400 for the generator installation. With that, there's additional electrical upgrades that need to be done in the form of panels and wiring. That's circa 1950, 1960 in the building. The library flooring and furniture, estimated cost around $200,000, and then the replacement of the front windows at $250,000. The good news is the estimated total is $1.206 million, and the ARP funds that are budgeted are $1.250. So it looks like we can be on track to actually do all of that scope right now currently, which is something we weren't sure, we were really unsure of as a committee whether or not we would get to that point. So Meg's done all the numbers on that, and BCA, I'm sure, and CNS have done the backstopping on all the estimates for those things. And the way our project is going right now with CNS and BCA working on it, we've seen that they have been hitting their marks or been just under them. So our budget has been doing exactly what we promised to the local community. So we're very comfortable that we should fall within this realm. So that's great news, because updating the whole building under one generator is going to be very important with the disasters we have in the area, rather than piecemealing certain parts to be powered up. This will power up everything. So good news.
And that library flooring, which you mentioned, also includes that large area of improvement that was targeted by the
It's been targeted by the district for a number of years, continue getting asbestos tiles out of the district when we have the opportunity.
Yep. And that gets rid of that old carpet that's in there that's basically covering up right now the asbestos tiles, so.
Yep.
Great upgrades, and the library, I think, will pay dividends for the students, get that a nice, usable, friendly space again.
Yep.
No, definitely showing when we created the funds there so we could move things at the end of the year and capital project funds and stuff, definitely helping out. Next we have the Architect RFP process. Meg, would you mind touching on that, walk us through it?
Sure. So a couple weeks ago, we advertised the RFP that we put out, created an RFP and advertised it for architectural engineering services. In addition, I reached out to the other DCMOC schools and said, does anybody have an architecture firm that they work with that they would recommend? So in addition to advertising it, we sent it directly to all of the firms that came to us with recommendations. We offered the opportunity for the firms to come and do a walkthrough. As of today, John has shown 5 firms around the district building. Proposals are due to be submitted on February 1st. So the question is, what process does the board want to go through from February 1st with the goal of making an award on February 15th, 2 weeks later? I believe when we did construction managers, I don't recall if we submitted them to everyone or just had the facilities committee members evaluate them.
Yep.
And we narrowed it down to, did we do 3 or 2?
Final 2 or 3, depending on what the committee
That
came
came
up
to the
with.
board for interviews. So I don't know what process you would like to follow for engineers and architects. I've asked this time prior to, contrary to prior times, that they actually submit their proposals electronically as opposed to sending us a bunch of hard copies that then I have to tear apart and scan to get to you. So I should be able to turn them around to whoever's going to review them fairly quickly after they're submitted.
So what's the desire?
I'm comfortable with it going to facilities first to whittle it down to finalists.
That seems
You're
worth
closer
it.
to the project, so you know better with.
Yeah, if that's what you guys want to do, that's no problem at all.
So,
I'm assuming they're all gonna go all in the library for starters. You know, like, so if you wanted to pull up any of the
Yeah.
6, you'd have full range to be able to do that.
Yeah, we can do that. We can.
I would populate the library with all proposals, and then we'll take a crack at, getting them down to 2 or 3 and going from there, but.
Yep.
So when we narrow it down to 2 or 3, those selected ones would come and present to the entire board, is that what you're thinking? Okay.
That's typically what we do, right?
I would say.
Yep.
So I put a timeline in the RFP which had us awarding on the 15th. So if we were gonna stick with that timeline, we'd have to set a separate meeting to do those interviews before the 15th. I don't think there's any rush if we, I put in there that the timeline was subject to change. If you wanted, do you wanna do the interviews on a board meeting night, or do you wanna do them on a different night? You could potentially do interviews on the 15th and then award at the first March meeting.
I would think the interviews are better off on a separate night than a board meeting, because that just becomes too hectic of a night.
So with no rush to meet the 15th, Corey can send out a meeting date. If it happens before the 15th and we can award on the 15th, great. If we just can't find a date that works before the 15th, we'll go after and look at March. So once I get them, I'll send them out to facilities committee.
Okay. Finance committee needs to finalize scheduling. There's some dates here in your packet for the 25th, 26th, 27th, or 31st. I guess if any of those work, give Corey a heads up. Also, the annual legislative breakfast on Saturday, February 5th, 8:30. It's going to be a Zoom link, so if anyone's interested or whoever's interested, please let Corey know.
I will definitely be attending it.
All right. Moving on to correspondence.
Got the enrollment report at the bottom, just to
Oh,
acknowledge that. Right down
yep,
very
I
bottom.
missed the enrollment report, I'm sorry.
So if there's any questions, that's just, as you recall, quarterly, or at least 2, 3, 4 times a year, we'll give you an updated enrollment report. Comes your hours through management system.
Anybody have any questions on that report or?
Not at this time.
No, okay. All right. DCMO, the
correspondence and information, DCMO BOCES report. You want to touch on
Yeah,
that?
just from time to time, I know this is a new report than what you've been accustomed to seeing, but from time to time, we will receive a service report, especially the cooperative purchasing. They like to show the savings that the cooperative purchasing program has generated. So as we get any of these, we'll bring them forward so that you can see what the services are how they're benefiting the district. And this is the big one. Cooperative purchasing is a huge savior for many districts. I think there's 78 districts in that service.
Do you want to read off totals so everybody has them? I mean, there's the big numbers that we're saving with those. I mean, you look like your agreement is $7,600 and your return on investment before aid is $60,955. So, that's a tremendous savings just by having that agreement in place. And the best part is these aren't your one-time expenses either. These are your continual year to year expenses. So that continual savings is very important.
Do we have any additions to the agenda?
We do not.
Okay. All right. Consent agenda. We have the financial reports for December. We have the transfer funds, the declared surplus, the books, excuse me, and the approvals of the voting machines, the voting machine agreement, create supervising school social worker stipend position. You want to speak on that now while we're going through these? Or?
I can if you'd like me to.
If you would, please.
The supervising school social worker, we currently have in place a stipend position for a supervising speech pathologist position. And what essentially that is an individual, if they have the right licensing, can sign off on the Medicaid notes. Each time they have a session, they have to do notes in the system. They can sign off on those and then it can generate Medicaid aid. So when we added the social workers, we actually thought we were going to have to, and had sought out a service from BOCES, which was going to cost us much more than what this will cost us, to generate that from an outside agency, to have that supervision to be able to bill Medicaid for some of the services we're providing. However, the two social workers that we have one of them that has the correct licensing, so we're able to put in place the same position as we already have in a contract for the speech. So we've worked with the WTA and we've generated and got their approval to add this position in place. So it's a benefit, mutual benefit.
Excuse me. Then we have the personnel resignations and retirements. We have the appointments. Actually, I skipped one, didn't I? Personnel unpaid leave of absence. Crystal Wood and Mary Trainer. And the personnel appointments. Deborah Spicer and Carrie Finn are going to be food service helpers and custodial workers. These are going to be substitute positions. We have the Catherine Hoffmeister appointing to be social school social worker, effective 1/3/2022 through 6/30/2022. Paid a stipend of $1,000 prorated for each person supervised. And then we have the emergency athletic appointments. That was Mike, right?
Yeah, Mike Allen.
Mike Allen for the JV wrestling or modified wrestling. So, does anybody have any questions on the consent on any of the topics that we? Okay, if not, can I have a motion to accept and pass the consent? Jen?
Make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Moving on to the new business, we've received a donation received $1,000, or it's been nice to spend $1,000, but,
Yeah.
so, tried $300 from Farm Credit East to the Walton FFA chapter. So, motion to accept that, please.
I make a motion, we accept that.
Second,
Mm-hmm.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we have the declare the seeker for upcoming projects. Anybody have any questions on the seeker? Okay, we have a motion to approve that.
I make that motion as well.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then moving on, we have the authorizing the Townsend Elementary School flood reconstruction project and vote.
Floor. That
Floor.
floor repair.
Sorry, folks, it's been one of the days.
All right,
So,
well, you know
understandable.
what? I will make a motion to approve the floor reconstruction project.
And a second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, moving on to D, approve architect design services for generator project and related upgrades agreement. So, now this is the RFP for that, right? We're going out for?
This is the approval of the IBI group, that did the,
Did the
generator study
analysis
and all the upgrade
Right.
stuff. I thought they did an excellent job presenting very high, top-notch quality work, so I would make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, and just to echo, great, Aaron was very impressed with their presentation and the thoroughness of it.
They made, line diagrams for electrics look nice. And I tell you, that really had to be tasking over here with so many dead ends with things that they made it all made sense. It's amazing.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay. I guess we're to the 10-year appointments.
You're up, Mr. Hoover.
I'll go over here, please. Craning it. So it's my pleasure to introduce Rebecca Doyle. She's been working with our middle and high schoolers for music, for general music, for orchestra, for chorus. Probably the two most challenging years we've had in a long time with COVID and not being able to bring the groups together last year. She's done an excellent job. She, I don't know if she was born in Walton, but she's grown up in Walton. Her whole family's part of the community. And I have no hesitation at all to recommend her for tenure.
I receive a motion from the board to do so.
I'll make a motion to
A
accept.
second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Congratulations.
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 Typically we'd have a celebration, but we're still with COVID, so that's all we got for tonight.
Thank you.
But you can feel free to leave if you
You owe us a lot of cake.
Thank you.
Dr.
Yeah, I know, it's building up, right? We're gonna have a cake night.
Exactly.
Got that home improvements bake off.
You don't have to feel as if you have to stay, Rebecca, on our, okay, yep. No, you got a little one.
Yep. Okay, policy update. Policy readings for the second time. Would you care to do the honors?
You know I would, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right. Policy number 2342, agenda preparation and dissemination. Policy number 8505, charging school meals and prohibition against shaming.
Okay. Have a motion on that, please?
I'll
Make a motion. I'll second it.
All right.
Second Marilyn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. And then the next is just a policy review.
All right, Rebecca.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you.
Rebecca.
These are just the policies for the board members to review over. All right, moving on to administrative remarks. Do we want to just do a brief summary from the administrators, or does anybody have to say?
Any question reports on any of the principals' reports? I know Artie's out with wrestling. Tonight is a senior recognition, so he's out with the seniors right now. Appropriately, he'll be in a minute. But, you know, we present these every month for a year. I don't think we were doing this when you were here last.
No.
This was new. We do a written report every month to give the board an opportunity to see it, read it, digest it, and then you can ask any questions that may occur. And then we may highlight some various things as we come through. So if there's any questions, we have 2 out of 3 here to ask.
I was quite impressed with the letters.
And
They
thank you for the
nice.
pictures.
Oh,
Pictures are
They
excellent.
were great.
Yeah, it's better than just reading a report.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice seeing that you're doing things like that with the kids. Things are much better than when I came the first time. I'm happy.
From my remarks, just to inform the board, I know the facilities committee, we've thrown around the newsletter as a draft. We're getting close to a final version of the newsletter on the Townsend School floor project that was approved this evening. We'll be finalizing that newsletter. It'll be in your Friday letter, and it'll be at print shop by the end of the week. If anybody would like to see it prior to and draft form, by all means, outside of the facilities, been working on the verbiage and on the construction side. If the rest of the board would like to see it prior to it being finalized, we'll send it. You look like you're gonna answer that.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get that tomorrow. I'll be expecting that email, okay?
Okay.
It'll be finalized tomorrow. I'll send it to the whole board, and then we will wait until, I'll give it a day to see if there's any feedback, and then we'll send it to print shop on Thursday, Friday. Okay, that way there's a buffer. I'm also meeting with the Walton reporter tomorrow morning. They'll have an article in the paper next week regarding the Townsend floor project as well. And then in March, following that vote, in March prior to April, when phase 2 work begins, we'll do another communication on the phase 2 work for middle school, high school. That's going to be a lot of work up here, as you know, out front, a lot of traffic flow changes, drop off effect. So we'll make sure to communicate that out early and often and loudly, so everybody is well prepared for that impact. Short-term inconvenience for long-term gain, as they say, and much needed work. So a lot of communication regarding construction to come, but it'll begin tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of good things are happening here, starting.
Good things.
Next season, we'll get to see it, actually. It won't be all on the roofs.
Right.
So, all right. We do have a need to go into executive session tonight, but we will not be taking any action after executive session. So if we could have a motion to, I guess, go into executive session, then one to adjourn immediately after.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay. We need a separate
We
motion.
need a separate motion.
Can I have a motion to adjourn after?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
All right.
Third, fourth, fifth.
I could request Mr. Loomis and Ms. Hector to join us,
Sure.
the personnel, to the.
All right.
I didn't get that. I must have missed it.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, so we're still live until we get,
Yeah.
Rhonda was good with all
Yep.
the dates.
Okay, and I responded to 25th, I thought.
That's okay, I could have missed it. Thank you so
Corey.
much.
Hi, Mr. Hoover,
We're
can
still
you
live.
Night.
turn it off, or do we have to have Brett come back?
I have no idea what I can do. Like, I'm gonna text Rick to make sure that